Hi guys, it's Ray. I promised you a snow globe tumbler video. So we're going to do the lemonade mason jar one together. This one is almost done, but not quite. Topper and all. So we're going to do the topper, all of it today. So this is the complete one, dry. So we're going to make one of those, and we're going to do the tumbler itself, and we're going to finish sealing off this tumbler and decaling it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is decal this one so we can set it aside for when I get to the sealing part of the video. So I don't like to decal until I am fully sealed. That way I'm sure they're not going to leak or anything. So, and I just cut on yellow vinyl. It says squeeze the day. Thought it was cute. So, and this is that HTV vinyl, and in some cases the vinyl is almost like translucent, so it's kind of cool. I've noticed that with a couple of the colors as I'm using them, but this particular cup you will never be able to get all of the air out of unless you go way out of the box and put your hole somewhere else. But for where I'm comfortable putting the hole, and I'm only going to put one hole in this one because the way the cup dips down, you want your hole inside that dip, but there's all this extra above the dip. So I've just kind of accepted that this style is going to have a pretty good air bubble, which actually works good to give it some really nice flow. So I'm going to set this one aside a minute. And we're actually going to go ahead and do the topper first while this tool warms up. This is going to be the decal for the other one, but I'm not going to put that on right now, so you won't see that part. I have two yellow glitters. I have Honeybee from Bees Bling and Squeeze Me from LMNOP Design Boutique, and then I have Little Lemon Slices also from LMNOP Design Boutique, so those will be our glitters. But we're going to do this lid first because my resin is mixed up and ready. This is just a piece of a silicone straw protector. I'm going to put that inside the hole. This will prevent any resin from seeping down through the hole. So that's what I like to do for that part. And my little acrylic faux ice cubes, which I am, as you can see, running very low on. I'm going to pop a pair of gloves on. I use my regular resin for these. I do not make my toppers removable. To me, durability wise and safety wise, your regular resin that you know is food contact safe, incidental contact, to me is the safest versus gluing things on, using UV resin, whatever. Personal preference, do your toppers the way you want to do your topper. I'm using KS Resin Liquidy Split for this. So I'm going to pour around a little bit. Try to be careful not to drip over the edge. I'm going to spread it around inside this dome because these two have a nice dome to work within. So, and just start arranging some of your little cubes. And then just kind of make sure it's all good and let it sit and cure, and you're going to have this. You'll just pluck that straw right out of there and it'll leave a perfect circle for your straw to go in. So that's it for the lid. We're going to get to work on the cup. Okay, I am ready to get started on this one. Did I mention this? I'm like having a rough day. Got a bit of a headache and can't really focus, but this is from Hog. Not from hogoutfitters.com though, from Stainless Depot. It's 15 ounce acrylic mason jar. That's where I got this. So I'm going to put my hole in the bottom. I'm going to try and make a smaller hole than on the one I showed you that's done. Hopefully my little lemons will fit. I may have to manipulate them somewhat, but I want one smaller hole for this one. But I am still going to put it off to the side. So, this is a hot fix applicator tool for rhinestones. They have these tips on them that are made for hot fixing rhinestones, but they work great to put a little hole in an acrylic cup. This is going to be difficult to show you, but I'm going to touch it to the acrylic. I'm going to be at eye level so I can see through the glass. And I may be able to do it at this angle. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I need to be able to see the minute this goes through so I don't burn down to the next layer. So off to the side where I have the biggest gap, and you don't have to force it, just let the heat do the work. And that is through. Bring it right back out. And I'm going to turn that tool off because I am essentially done with it. And pick any hot pick the little pieces off if you have any before it gets too cool. So that is a perfect little hole to fill. So I shut my tool off. I'm going to unplug it so I don't forget later. And hopefully I don't have to come back in and make a bigger hole. Hopefully. So what I'm going to use for the solution is clear Elmer's glue and distilled water. This is a tiny bit that's already mixed up. So I want to put a little bit of that in before I start putting my glitter. Different solutions will give you different rates of flow. Some people use glycerin. I am not a fan of the glycerin, but whatever you do, do not use your tap water. Especially if, like me, you live on a well, and don't use regular bottled water either. That can lead to bacteria and mold inside your cup. Also, don't handle your glitter. Don't touch it with your bare hands if you can help it. Wear gloves. So, go to the store and get yourself a jug of distilled water, no matter what combination of solutions you're using. I like to use closer to a 50-50 water to glue mix. At least 35%. But so, and I'm going to mix right in my empty glue bottle because why not? It's got this convenient little spout on it. Obviously, if you're working from a big jug of glue, don't use that, but they didn't have any big jugs when I was there, so I grabbed a couple of these small ones. So I'm going to fill this so I'm not quite halfway. And then I'm going to put my distilled water in the rest. And I'm going to give it a good shaky mix. I mean, I like the glue and water. I can't flip that other cup upside down. But that's my preferred method. And like I said, if you have one of these bottles, mark it that it's your mix. This one's not marked, but I can tell it's my mix. And just use that. So I'm going to grab a little measuring cup. Whoa, sorry about that. And we're going to start our glitter process. Yay. Use as much glitter as you want. That's my sage advice. Use as much as makes you happy. Fine glitters will clump together. Chunkies are your better bets. This is a chunky mix, obviously, but I'm going to see if I can squeeze these lemons in. And I just told you not to handle everything, and here I am handling everything. But so I'm going to see, because this is a bigger one, if I can get this one in, I'm probably okay. So that's going to take a little bit of work, but the smaller the hole, the better, obviously. So, but yeah, I'll be able to get my lemon slices in, so I'm good. And I'm not going to make you watch me fill every bit of this, but you can use the tap method, you can use a funnel. Obviously, the larger the hole, the easier the glitter goes in. But I'm going to use a full cup to start of that, and maybe a full cup of this, but it's probably going to use it all up on me. And I'm not going to use this whole packet of these. I will probably use maybe about a half of what's left, so, because it doesn't need a ton of them. So I'm going to work on that off camera. I will be back when my glitter is in. Okay, I don't have all of my glitter in yet. I have most of my glitter and all of my lemon slices. I am making an absolute mess, but for this particular hole in this particular cup, I made a paper funnel that I am sitting in the hole, and I am kind of tilting the cup sideways, filling up my paper funnel, and then just taking a pokey tool and just kind of moving it around in there. It's what was working the best, so or you can use a little coffee stir stick or whatever you have. This was just much quicker. It's still not fast, but for a small hole, this is definitely easier. Most of this glitter everywhere was for before I switched to that method. So I'm going to carry on, and I will really be back when I'm done with this cup of glitter. Okay, I am ready to get this filled. Open up my glue bottle. And just squeeze it in. I'm going to stop about halfway and kind of attempt to swish it up. And I'm going to put a little more alcohol just on top. I'm going to grab a paper towel and get it dry. Can you see where that air is? That's gonna be like that on this one. For the other one I used a fat glue stick. For this one I'm going to use a skinny glue stick. I'm just going to cut a little chunk off. I cut too much. But I'm going to cut a plug. I'm going to stick it on a pokey tool. And I like to heat it with my torch a little bit till it starts to melt. And then drop it in the hole. And then I just use my pokey tool. Don't use your good weeding tool for this. So, for this one, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to put that big old blob of hot glue on top here. I have, so make sure that's dry before I do this part. I have my Gorilla Glue ready. I like to do a layer of Gorilla Glue over top of how I seal it. But these are, I think they're Scotch brand mounting strips. They're actually double stick. So I am going to take the adhesive off that side. It's fine. It's going to get covered. But I am going to press this right over the top. And then I'm going to go in with my Gorilla Glue and give it a layer of Gorilla Glue. Okay, so this is the other cup, but this has that layer of glue around where I sealed it. Obviously, I put 2 holes in this. I sealed this differently, so it has much more hot glue to begin with. But this is after that Gorilla Glue is completely dry. I have resin mixed up. I have a piece of the stick in here. I'm going to get that fished out. I don't know how much it's going to take. Probably not nearly everything I've got in here, so I'm going to transfer some of that out. So I'm just going to start with that because, like I said, I don't think I'm going to need it all. I'm going to go with my darker of the 2 glitters. And I'm just going to mix a bit in. It doesn't need a ton. It's just kind of concealment at this point. And I'm just going to pour that in that hole, in that little indent part on this cup. Okay, so I have sealed this one, tested it for leaks. It's got the resin on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and get the decal on it. Now, I didn't show you on the other top, I don't think, where I removed that plug. But as simple as that, it pops out and you have a perfect hole. Okay, so I've got you down in my light box of all things. So I'm gonna flip one and flip the other. This one's been sitting there settled more and I didn't give it a shake, so it's gonna flow less to start, but